Dear friends, welcome to the next session. And in this session, we will be talking about operators which are used in Java and its different types. So, talking about operators, the first thing we have to remember is that operators are basically constructs which can manipulate the value of the operands. So, operands are basically constructs and they will be manipulates the operands. Now, when we are talking about operators and operands, you have to first identify which are the operators and which are the operands, right? So, talking about operands, talking about a mathematical expression, let us say 4 plus 5 is equal to 9, right? So, here 4 and 5, these are the two different operands which are used, and in order to give the result which is 9, okay, and this is basically the operator which will be working on the two operands, okay. So this is the operator and these two are the operands. So now there are 8 different types of operators which are used in Java, and we will take them one by one. The first one is the arithmetic operator. So this is a very common type of operator which we have already been using multiple number of times in our programs, okay. So arithmetic operators are used to perform some mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulo operations, etc. Okay, so let us list down what are the different types of operators which are arithmetic operators which are used in Java. So they are, first of all, we will write it down that they are primarily used for mathematical I think the spelling is wrong, okay, mathematical expressions, and they are of multiple types, okay. So the first one that you have to see is the addition operator, okay. Now addition operator is, it adds values on either side of the operator. Suppose we have two values, 2 plus 3. So here what happens is that it will add the values which are present on either side of this particular operator, okay. The next possible operator, addition arithmetic operator, is subtraction. So subtraction, so here what it does, it subtracts the right hand operator with the left hand operator. That means if I have something like this value 5 minus 4, okay, so it will subtract the right hand operator with the left hand operator. That means whatever is present on the right hand, it will subtract it from the left hand, okay. The third arithmetic operator is multiplication, and this, yes, it is represented using plus and this is represented using minus, okay. Then we have multiplication. This is like the normal mathematical multiplication symbol that we mathematical operation that we use, which is we are multiplying it with, both the operands are getting multiplied, okay. Whatever is on the either side of the operator, it gets multiplied with each other, and it is represented using this star type of notation. Then we have division, and this division is also like the arithmetic division that we do in our mathematics classes or in mathematics, okay. It divides the left hand operand with the right hand operand, okay. So if I have something like 5 or 15 divided by 3, so 15 gets divided by 3. Okay, and this is how it is represented. That means with a forward slash we represent the division symbol. Okay, division operator. And the last one that we have is the modulo operator. So this is known as modulo operator. This is known as modulo or modulus operator. So it divides the left hand operand by the right hand operand and returns the remainder. Okay, so this is something like this: 15 modulo 3. So both these expressions might look similar. 15 divided by 3, in this case this will be 5. Okay, and in this case this will be 0. All right, moving ahead with the next category of operators, we have assignment operators. So assignment operator is an operator which is used in order to assign a value, new value to a variable. So we will be assigning a new value to a variable. So there are different types of assignment operators. So the first one that we will discuss is, so number one in assignment operators is equal to. So equal to is assigns a value from the right side of the operands to the left side of the operand. Okay, so in this case you can simply represent this as C is equal to A plus B. So whatever is on the right hand side, it will be assigning the value to the left hand side of the operand of the operator. So left hand operand A plus B will be assigned to the left hand operand, which is C. The second type is plus and equal. So this adds right hand operand to the left hand operand and assigns the result to the left hand operand. So basically if we can represent it in something like this: C is equal to A. What it actually means is C is equal to C plus A. Okay, so the actual definition, as it says, that it adds the right hand operand to the left hand operand. So right hand operand is A, left hand operand is C. So it will add A and C and then it will assign it to the left hand operand. Okay, next we have is minus and then an equal. Now this is the reverse of number 2. Okay, this is the reverse of number 2, which is it subtracts the right operand from the left operand and assigns the result to the left operand. So the same expression you can see is C minus is equal to A. Then this is equal to C is equal to C minus A. So this value is actually assigned to the left operand. Okay. Then number 4 we have multiply equal. So multiply equal, again it multiplies the right operand with the left operand and assigns the result to the left operand. So if we are writing something like this, it will be represented as C is equal to C into A. Okay, so this is the actual meaning of what this particular expression is all about. Then we have the fifth one, which is divide equal to. So this is also similar. It divides the left operand with the right operand and assigns the result to the left operand. So if we have an expression something like this, so that means what I have to do, I have to divide C with A and add, assign the value to C. So C is equal to C divided by A. Okay, and then we have number 6 we have is the modulo equal to. So it takes the modulus using 2 operands and assigns the result to the left operand. So this is also similar. We will be assigning the value of C modulus A to C. Okay, so this is pretty simple. Okay, next we have one more operator we have is exponent or power, okay, exponential or power equal to. So here what it does is basically it will be performing exponential or power calculation on operators and assigns value to the left operand. So that means it will be, if I am writing something like c to the power equal to a, so this will actually be represented as c is equal to c to the power a. Okay, so this is how your assignment operator works. So we will also see an example program of all these operators and the with their respective operands in our subsequent session. But as of now, we need to know about the different types of operators and how they are basically represented. Okay. Now, the next category of operators which are there in Java is relational operator. So, relational operators are basically those operators which is used to compare the values on either side of the operators. Okay, so we have to establish certain relations between the values on either side of the operator and decide the relation among them. Okay, the first type of operator which we see here is equal equal. All right, so this is if the values of two operands are equal, then the condition would become true. Okay, so basically we have to identify if both the operands on each other on either side of the operator is equal or not. Okay, so if I'm considering 3, let's take an example here. So if I'm considering 3 is equal to 5, so this will return me it returns a false. Okay, now if I'm considering 3 is equal to 3, then it will be returning me with a true. The next operator that we have is exclamation and equal, which we also call as not equal. So here, if the two values of the two operands, or if the values of the two operands are not equal, then the condition becomes true. Okay, so suppose I have two different numbers, which is 3 is, here I have to represent it as 3 is not equal to 5. So if I write an expression like this, it will return me with a true, because here the not equal operator is responsible for comparing both the operands, and if they are not equal, then only the condition would become true. Okay, then we have a third operator, which is the greater than operator. Now, if the value of the left operand is greater than the value of the right operand, then the condition would become true. Okay, so if suppose this, or let's say if I have 5 which is greater than 3, then it will return me with a true. Otherwise, if the reverse is there, that means 3 is greater than 5 will return me with false. Okay, so this is how it goes. This is just you have to compare it. Okay, the next one is just the opposite. This is the less than. So if I have 3 which is less than 5, this will return me with a true, whereas 5 which is less than 3 will return me with a false. Okay, so this is just the opposite of number 3. Then the fifth one we have is greater than equal to. So if this is the condition, if the value of the left operand is greater than or equal to the value of the right operand, then the condition becomes true. So this is just an extension of point number 3. So if it is something like this, 5 is greater than or equal to 3, then we will have a true return. Otherwise, if 3 is greater than or equal to 5, so this condition is not true, right? So it will give me a false. Again, number 6 is just the reverse of number 5, less than or equal to. So if the value of the left operand is less than or equal to the value of the right operand, then the condition will become true. Okay, so it is also an extension of point number 4, which is less than or equal to 5. So this is true. Otherwise, if the reverse is there, if the reverse is there, which is 5 is less than or equal to 3, it will return me with a false, right? So this is the third type of operators which we saw, and these operators are primarily responsible for checking the relationship between two operands. Okay, and the next number 4th type of operator which we will be considering here is the logic. So this is the 4th type of operator which we will see here. These are the logical operators. So here the name itself suggests that it has something to do with the logic circuits or something to do with the logic. Okay, now in Java there are 3 different types of logical operators. Okay, we have logical AND, we have logical AND, then we have OR, and we have NOT. Okay, so these are derived from the gates basically. So AND, OR, and NOT, so these will be supported in Java. Okay, so the logical operator AND, the first one is represented using double ampersand, and it is true if both the operands are true. Okay, so suppose A is less than 10 and B, A is also less than 50. So this will return me with a true value. Okay, so it will check if both the operands are true or both the expressions are true for the respective operands. Okay, then we have number 2, we have is OR. Okay, this is OR. It is true if either of the operands is true. Okay, so if either one is true, then it will return me with a true. For example, if I am writing something like A is less than 10 and let's say we have A, the same expression we can use actually, or A is less than let's say 50. Okay, now this value of A is basically 5. Okay, so 5 is less than 10 or 5 is less than 50, right? So if either of the operands is true, then it will return me with a true. When in this condition, when I am checking the first expression itself for the first operand, then only this becomes true. So hence, even if this is false, it doesn't matter. It will simply be returning me with a true value, right? This is simply how your basic logical circuits work. Okay, and then we have is the NOT operator. So this is the NOT operator. So it is true if an operand is false or complements the operand. Okay, so if I'm having some expression like this, x is less than 5 and x is less than 10, then it will give me a true. That means if it is complementing the operand, that means if it is true if an operand is false. Or let's say I am putting this in a much simpler way. Okay, so what happens is suppose I have A. Okay, now whatever is there in A's complement, okay, that will be basically true. Whatever is there in A's complement, that would be basically true. So we will see this with example, of course, as already mentioned in my next session, where we'll be looking into some of the programs. Okay, then we have is Java unary operators. The next type of operators that we have is, the fifth one is unary operator. Now, unary operators are used only one operand. For example, plus plus is a unary operator. Okay, it increases the value of the variable by plus 1. That is, if I'm writing plus plus, let's say 1, then the result will be 2. Okay, it will return 2. That means it is incrementing 1 by plus 1. Okay, so we have unary plus, unary minus, increment operator, decrement operator, as well as we have logical complement operator. Okay, so unary plus, I'll simply write it down. The first one is unary plus, then we have unary minus, unary minus. The third one we have is increment operator, the fourth one we have is decrement operator, and the fifth one we have is logical complement operator. Logical complement operator. Okay, so unary plus is not necessary to use since the numbers are positive throughout it, so we do not have to mention that whether it is plus 5 or plus 6. Even if we write plus, even if we don't write plus, we will understand that 5 is a positive number. Okay, now if I'm writing using unary minus, so unary plus is simply represented by plus 5, and it does not make much sense if we are writing plus sign before any number if it is a positive number, because all positive numbers by default we do not have to introduce any sign before it. Okay, now if we are using unary minus, it will invert the sign of an expression. Okay, so suppose I'm having 5, so if I'm writing minus in front of 5, it will mean that it is a negative number. Okay, so or it is a complement of the expression. It will simply invert the sign of the expression. So this is represented using minus. Now increment operator, it will increment the value by 1, so plus plus. So if I'm writing something like plus plus 4, the result would actually be 5. I will get something as 5. Okay, now decrement operator, again it is a reverse of the increment operator, which is basically represented using minus minus, and this is will decrement the value of the expression by 1. So if I'm writing as minus minus 4, this will give me the result as 3. Okay, now logical complement operator will invert the value of a boolean. Suppose, as I've already mentioned in my data types, that boolean, basically this data type will be capable of holding true or false values or any character values. So here, if I'm using a logical complement operator in a true value or true expression, it will simply invert the value of that particular boolean data. Okay, so we have to be careful what we are using, because it will not only help us in order to make our codes much more concise and precise, but it will also help us to reduce the number of lines which we need to write for coding anything. We can simply use these operators for reducing the number of lines. Okay, now the next category of operators which we have is bitwise operator. Okay, so talking about bitwise operator, so this is the sixth category of operators that we will be discussing. So bitwise operators. So when we are talking about bitwise operator, it will directly manipulate the bits. Okay, it works in the level of bits. So in all computers, the numbers are present with bits, which is a series of zeros and ones, and everything in computers, you will be, if you have already read through it, it is represented by bits, that means zeros and ones. Okay, so here at that bitwise level this operator will be working. Okay, so there are different types of operators under this. So the first one we will discuss is AND operator. Okay, so this AND operator is not similar to what your logical AND or logical operators are doing. So what it does is basically it will return bit by bit, it will return bit by bit AND of input. Okay, so if we are considering A and B, it will basically consider the bitwise bit by bit AND of the input. So if I have a decimal number, okay, so that decimal number will be converted into binary, and both, suppose A will be converted into its respective ones and zeros form, and B also will be converted into its respective ones and zeros, and an AND of this particular bits will be done. Okay, and operation of these bits will be done. So whatever will be the result, that would be displayed. Okay, next we have is bitwise OR. Okay, so this is how you represent bitwise OR, and it returns OR of the input values. So here also similar things happen, A or B. So here also it will be converting it into the respective bitwise representation and performing an OR operation of it. Okay, here we also have the XOR operation, which is represented with a exponential symbol, and it returns the XOR of the input values. Okay, so something like this. Okay, and then we have the complement operator, which is represented using a tilde. Okay, and this complement operator will be returning one's complement. All the bits will be reversed. Okay, this will do nothing but one's complement would be generated. Okay, suppose if I have a representation something like 1 0, the result would be just the reverse of it, that is 0 0 and 1. Okay, so this can be represented using tilde of A. So this is how your bitwise operator works. It will be much more, it will show much more clear picture when we will be doing this in a program in order to check for whatever results we should be getting. Okay, the next important operator which is used in Java are the ternary operators. Okay, and ternary operators are conditional operators, and it is basically a shorthand for if then else statement. So we have already done if then else statement, right? So this is basically a shorthand of your if then else statement. We can write the entire block of if then else statement in just one single ternary operator. Okay, let us see how. So here you have an expression which says that the syntax of this particular ternary operator is basically condition. Okay, so first one is the condition followed by a question mark, then you have the statement 1, then you have statement 2. Okay, so this is basically the syntax of the ternary operator. As already mentioned, it is a conditional operator and it will decrease the length of the code while performing comparisons and conditionals. That means the entire if then else statement could be written into this particular format in using a ternary operator. Okay, so and the order of execution is generally from the left to right. So it will be executed from the left to right direction. Now what is this condition? So this is an expression. This condition is basically an expression. Okay, this is an expression to be evaluated which will return a boolean value. Its return type is always a boolean value. Okay, boolean value. And the statement 1 is the statement which is needed to be executed if the condition results in a true state, and the statement 2 is a statement which will be executed if the condition results in a false state. Okay, so this is basically the true state statement, and this is basically the false one. Okay, I mean not true statement and false statement. So this will be basically the statement which needs to be executed if the condition, if this particular condition is true. Okay, and if this condition is false, this statement will be executed. Now it is slightly confusing when I tell you this, so let me just tell you how it is, give you a small example like how it is actually used. Okay, so let us take an example. Let us say that, let us give a condition. Okay, so the condition is February, if the number of days in February is 28. Okay, then this is the condition, and the statement is leap year, statement 1, otherwise it is not a leap year. Okay, so this is basically the representation of this. So this is the condition. So first it will check for condition that whether February is equal to 28. Okay, so if somewhere in the program I have declared that for February, suppose in my program I have declared that February is equal to 29. Okay, so if I have mentioned that February is equal to 29, which means which condition is getting satisfied? Okay, so this condition is not getting satisfied. February is equal to 28 is not getting satisfied here. So hence what should be the output that is being generated? It should not be a, it should be a leap year, right? Because if it is I did a mistake here. So it is a leap year, and I'll do this. Okay, I'll just not a leap year. Okay, so this is the first statement which will be executed, otherwise statement 2 will be executed. Okay, so what is the declaration which I have done in the program, that February is equal to 29. So when I'm considering February is equal to 29, that means this condition is not getting satisfied, right? So if this condition is not getting satisfied, what should be the result? The result is that February should be a leap year, right? So if condition is true, then statement 1 will be executed, and if condition is false, then statement 2 will be executed. So this condition is false, hence leap year will be the result. So the result which I will be getting on my screen is basically a leap year. Okay, so this is how it works. So in your normal if then else statement, you would have to first state that if the number of days in February, so if February is equal to 28, then you open the braces, then you will print that it is not a leap year, or again otherwise, or you will write another statement which is else, and then you will start with another print statement saying that it is a leap year. So there are number of lines associated in this particular if you are using if then else statement, right? But however, using this shorthand, just one single statement, you will be able to identify whether it is a leap year or not, or it's a normal year, that means it's not a leap year, or it's a leap year. And you can simply use another what do you call it, another printf statement, which is system.out.println, to print the value of, suppose I have stored this in A, so you can simply print the value of A. Okay, so A will have now leap year, so leap year will get printed. Okay, so this is how your ternary operators work. And there are other operators also which are used. Okay, one significant operators which are which is used in your Java is shift operator. Okay, this is the last type of operator which we'll be discussing, shift operators. Okay, so talking about shift operators, shift operators are used to shift the bits of a number left or right, and it will multiply or divide the number. Okay, there are three different types of shift operators, and they are left shift operator. Okay, so it is represents something like this. Okay, so this is your left, double less than symbol. Okay, left shift operator. Then you have signed right shift operator. Okay, so this is your signed right shift operators, and after that the last one is your this doesn't look very nice, so I will use another symbol. Yes, and unsigned right shift operator, which you will represent using 3 greater than symbols. So unsigned right shift operators. So left shift operator, signed right shift operators, and unsigned right shift operators. Okay, so here you have to understand that we are purely shifting the number of bits to left or right. Okay, so this one we will not discuss this much in theory. We will see this with the help of a program. Okay, so that will make things, I believe, more clear to us. So we do not have to worry much about that. We also have Java instance of operator. Okay, that operator checks whether an object of an instance is an instance of a particular class or not. Okay, so this is not very much used, so you do not have to worry about it. We will see about all of these operators in a program. Okay, so we'll see that in our next session. That is all for your different types of operators which are used in Java. Okay, thank you.